take less than like 5 minutes a day to help improve your journey. We are also excited to announce we're opening up to any kind of guests. The whole point of this show is just people sharing with people on things that they know. So if you have any sort of advice or tip on anything in life, sign up right now, www.millionairesaremade.com, or send us an Instagram, Facebook, YouTube DM, however you want. We would love to have more guests, and we want anyone and everyone, because we believe everyone on this planet has something that they can share with everyone else. So without further ado, I'm going to go over my tip for self-love and improving your mental health. One big thing I think is huge is we have negative thoughts. You're all going to have them. It's going to be okay. I am fat. I am slow. I am stupid. All these things, it's going to happen at some point. Here's the thing. When you have a thought like, I don't deserve that, or I could never do that, there's a big one, limiting belief. Think in your head, imagine a little piece of notebook paper. If you're real young, you might not know what that is, but you can just imagine computer paper and write it out, maybe in cursive. Never use that anymore. You could put it in cursive. I can't do that. I am stupid. I smell bad. Whatever your negative thought is, write it down and just put a line through it. Next time that thought comes up, maybe a week later, maybe 10 minutes later, put another line. 20 to 30 lines, it'll be a black rectangle. That is how I So, without further ado, we're going to put our first here. We're going to put his name is Tony. We're having a tiny bit of difficulties on here.
I can't hear you, brother. Oh, all right. Hi, everybody. I am Tony Lynch. And as Austin was saying earlier, our show is about self love. Today, I just want to share a very simple tip with you. Um, One thing I learned in my journey is be patient with yourself. It's easy to get wrapped up into the world that we live in and build up unnecessary anxiety. And having patience with yourself is a way for you to calm yourself down and actually be able to move through in a way to where you're not rushed, right? So having patience with yourself is huge, and especially in your mental health as well, because mental health is something that's not discussed very often, and it very well should be, because these things that we do go through is something um, that we do experience on a personal level. So your mental health is very, very important. Important, and so having patience in your mental health is essential, because you can't rush what you don't know. And when you don't know these things, you kind of have the tendency to beat yourself up. And that's something that you don't want to do, because the first thing that you need to understand is that, everybody's going to experience life differently. And so what you're going through is totally normal, because um, it's your own personal journey when it comes down to your mental health. And so you have to be the first line of defense when it comes down to that. I was just telling one of the colleagues earlier, you are the first line of defense. So being patient with yourself. And when you do have these challenges that come about, as Austin was saying, you want to write them down. Because if you don't understand what you're going through, then it's very, very easy to get wrapped up. That part I do not know. I am just trying to keep it going till Austin can get back on and everything. And I wish we could. I really do wish we could, but I can't see anyone. So anyone who's tuning in today, this is my first time on the show. Austin, thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yes. Okay, not a problem. We're going to keep the chat going. So just a little bit about myself as we go. My name is Tony Lynch. I'm a men's grief coach. I'm the founder of 2 nonprofits. How can cultivating self-love contribute to positive mental health and well-being? Cultivating self-love is a way to remind yourself of how important you are. And it is a great way to initiate positive mental health and well-being, in ways to where you begin to understand yourself on a mental level that only that you can project out into the world, because you got to remember, people read who you are. So yeah, keep the questions coming. Yeah, you are the first line of defense. What are some common misconceptions or challenges people may face when trying to practice genuine self-love, and how do you navigate through them? Well, some of the most common challenges is that when we talk about practicing self-love, a lot of people have the misconception that this means going out and being promiscuous, right? You know what I'm saying? And in a lot of ways, this is how people make themselves feel good. How do I navigate them? I put myself in check. I really do. Whenever I have the tendency to want to go out and want to and feel reckless, I put myself in check and go, no, this is not what I want, because I've learned from previous experiences that we can become reckless with ourselves. And so you have to be able to recognize the path that you're on. You have to be able to recognize the choices that you are making, because it's easy to revert back to the things that are familiar to you, right? And some of those things are not the best things, because this is how you get yourself into the situation that you were in before. So you have to redirect your thoughts in a way to where not only is it going to help you grow, but it's also going to be beneficial and valuable to you in the long run. Well, my journey, how did I acquire this information? My journey began when I lost my son and my mother shortly after. So I began to make those same mistakes that I tell people to be careful of. And so through trials and tribulations, I began to come up with a better routine for myself that was more beneficial for my mental health in the long run. Began to read books on understanding what I was going through, surrounding myself through a community of men that understood similar, the situation that I was in, and was able to grab on to silent mentors. And so my personal growth came because I said one simple thing: I want something different out of my life. And that began a different trajectory in the direction that I began to take myself into. Yes, I definitely can. One of the books that I've read is, let's see, I got it over here. It's Talking to Giants, right? And it's a book on entrepreneurs that have gone through similar things that I have gone through. And what that did is that I took their personal experience and used that as a guideline to what I didn't know, which and actually became one of the biggest opportunities that I ever created for myself, because it allowed me to receive everything that was coming my way. Austin, you back, brother?
I think so, my man. Dang, that was annoying. All right, where are we at with this then? You just gave your tip away?
Yep, I just gave my tip away. I talked a little bit about it and everything. So, yeah, I was just answering the questions that was coming about.
This is why I plan it ahead of time, so you know exactly what to talk about. I'm just a floating head, not even needed on this show. Awesome. Well, thanks, Tony. Sorry I didn't hear it, but it is recorded, so I will watch it immediately afterwards.
Awesome.
If you want to speak a little more, I think Clark said he dropped out. So we got a little bit of time if you want to spend another couple minutes talking about some self-love and mental health.
Yeah. Listen to audiobooks that can guide you, that can give you information that you don't know. Read books that can encourage you and inspire you. Get out and walk. You'd be surprised at how much vitamin D can do for your body and for your mind and for your soul. And being able to get out and get those endorphins moving throughout your body is a great way. Surround yourself with people that make you feel good and make you laugh. I know we said one tip. I gave out a few other tips and everything. Austin, you're breaking up, my brother. Uh-oh, here we go again. I am back again. Oh, there we go. There you are.
This is insane. All right, Tony, let's go ahead and put Joe on now.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm laughing there. It's kind of funny. I saw a Starbucks.
This is fucking insane. I love it. That's the beauty of it, though. All right, Joe, who are you?
I'm Joe Krupczak. Currently live in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. Engineer by trade, and I'm working on a couple startups, some engineering consulting, and a company that makes off-road parts for like the Toyota SUV and truck platform.
Awesome, man. Well, if I was trying to improve my mental health with self-love, what would you recommend?
The big thing for me, just kind of, discovered it, positive self-talk. So when you have those negative thoughts, be it from, not getting a job offer, or, not going to the gym that day, not opening that mail that's been sitting there for weeks on end, feel those feelings, hey, I should have done this, I didn't do it. Then get rid of them, replace that with positive self-talk. And the best way to do that is saying it out loud to yourself, I'm proud of myself. I got this done today. Let's move on. Let's hit the next day. It's really that simple.
If I'm having difficulty with that, what would you recommend is the easiest first step to take?
What could really help you too is making some Post-it notes. First thing you see in the morning, put it on your bathroom mirror. Whatever it is that you need help with on that positive self-talk, be it, something about yourself, something you didn't accomplish, put the positive spin on it. There's always, when something bad happens, there's always, a good that will come out of it.
Awesome, Joe. Thanks so much. I'm going to move on to Clark now. Clark.
Hello, everybody.
Who are you?
Hey, so I am the author of Healed by Faith, which is a book on a spiritual path to healing.
That's pretty freaking cool. Is it already released? Can we buy it now?
You can buy it, you can pre-order it now on my website, clarkvaron.com, but the book will actually come out in January.
Hell yeah, congrats, man. All right, get those pre-orders in, everybody. All right, Clark, if I wanted to improve my mental health with self-love, what do you recommend?
Well, if you're not properly loving yourself, it's probably because of some past trauma. And so you need to heal your relationship with your past self. And you can do that by forgiving your past self. But this has to happen at a soul level connection, right? So what I do is I go into prayer and I literally imagine the moments in my life that I am perhaps not proud of, or the moments that I feel like need healing. And I say this prayer for forgiveness. It's called the Ho'oponopono. It's a very famous prayer that became famous after a Hawaiian shaman was actually able to heal like a whole mental institution in Hawaii using this prayer. And so you simply just say to yourself, to your past self, who you need to forgive, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. And you repeat that mantra, I'm sorry, I love you, please forgive me, thank you. And you do that over and over again until you feel like those wounds are being healed up. And as those wounds start to heal, then you no longer will start to feel that like self-hatred towards yourself, which might be how you're feeling right now, or the resentment. And what's going to happen is you're going to be clearing out all of that spiritual junk that has been built up through your past. And that's the root of all all mental health problems. It's always a spiritual problem. So I also have used, positive self-talk and things like that. But if you want to actually eliminate the pattern of having the negative self-talk, if you want to just completely get to the root of that, why is this even coming up in the first place? Then you have to get down to the spiritual roots. And so that's also what I talk about in my book, Healed by Faith, is I realized that not only mental health, but also physical health, emotional health, all comes down to our spiritual roots. And there's a lot of junk that we build up over time. So being able to heal that through prayer is an incredibly powerful tool.
That's fantastic, Clark. I love it. Awesome. We're going to bring everyone out and talk about each other's tips now. While I may or may not be here, we'll find out. Let's start with Tony's tip. Tony, can you really quickly refresh us what your tip was?
Being patient with yourself.
All right, Joe, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that's a really key point. The last 3.5 years have been pretty difficult on my end, and being patient myself and saying, what's happening to me initially and turning that into, this is happening for me. And, the negatives, turn into that positive.
I don't have to do this task. I get to do this task.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just quick language in your head is a good thing. Clark, what do you think about that?
Yeah, 100%. I think we live in a world of instant gratification. We want things to happen fast. And that's just not how things work. It's like God's plan is typically, slow and steady, and he's like building you up over time. And you need to also have that same kind of expectation with yourself.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Joe, real quick, what was your tip that you gave us?
Positive self-talk.
Tony, what do you think about that?
Well, that's truly important. As I mentioned earlier, you are the first line of defense in this world. So if you're not talking positive to yourself, you open up the doors to accept what people can say to you without any defense.
Clark, do you agree with positive self-talk?
Yeah, 100%. The energy that you put out is going to be the energy that you receive,
Mm-hmm.
So if you're putting out positivity, then you're also going to receive positivity. It's kind of like gratitude, It's like the more grateful we are for the things that we have in this world, the more things God gives us to be grateful for.
I love it. I love it, man. You guys are three brilliant minds. Thank God I'm not really even here. Clark, what tip did you give us?
Healing your relationship with yourself through prayer, using the Ho'oponopono.
Very cool. Tony, what are your thoughts?
I can definitely agree with that. There's been times where prayer has really helped me get through some really tough times, because it allows me to connect in a way that I can't really explain, but it's a different sort of connection. It's uplifting. My well-being is where it needs to be. I can feel my spirit and everything inside of me lighter.
Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. And, so I guess if you're not religious, what could you substitute for prayer? You have any ideas, Clark?
Do you have to be religious to pray?
Oh, okay. Good question. I like it. I like it. Joe, what are your thoughts on Clark's tip?
Yeah, I really like it. And, kind of that other side of it, if you're not religious, mine is just being in the outdoors and nature and just kind of being one with it, going for a hike by yourself and being part of that.
So even like maybe some sort of meditation, I mean, prayer. I mean, essentially, Clark's just saying time alone, right? Think about yourself and focus on yourself a little bit. Does that sound right, Clark?
I mean, I believe in a higher power, so I think that there's more to
Right.
it than just time alone. I think that you can literally cleanse. If we are spiritual beings, then it's kind of like, hey, we're emotional beings, we're physical beings, we're spiritual beings. It's like there's going to be some junk that you need to clean up on your spiritual layer that's going to affect your emotional and physical layers as well. And we can clean up that junk through prayer.
So that's huge. Clark just kind of hit on, while we believe there's, different types of health, your social, spiritual, intellectual, whatever, they do intertwine. So as Clark pointed out, your mental health and your spiritual health do have some sort of overlap. On that note as well, I mean, Clark, obviously we're going to see you on many more shows and hopefully we won't have issues on them. But Clark has a lot to say. And so all three of you, actually, I know will be on future shows. But yes, I mean, Clark says prayer, he believes in a higher power, but really I believe almost everyone does. Even like atheists believe in chance or happenstance or circumstance. I mean, if you just look at the mere like mathematical possibility or probability of humans existing on this planet, it's so low that almost everyone has to believe in some sort of something outside of just your day-to-day existence. So whether you pray to a God or Allah or, anything like that, some sort of prayer, almost everyone does it when they're in a tight spot and they want something to happen, especially when it comes to sports. All right, guys, this is a point in our show where we are going to try to create a daily challenge. So I want all of you involved. We're going to take videos every day of us doing whatever this challenge is and encourage our viewers to join with us so everybody can improve their mental health over the next week. It's going to take less than 5 minutes and cost $0, so anybody in the world can join us on this challenge. Do you guys have any ideas of what we should do?
Yeah, I think what I would do is have a nightly routine of stating 3 things that you're grateful for and 1 area to improve. And that's been proven by scientists to dramatically improve your mental health, your state of well-being, and you actually just reflect on all the positive things that have happened in your life. Attracting that gratitude in is a great way to restore the love in your life.
So a little 5 minutes of gratitude and write 3 things that you're grateful for. I love it. What do you think, Joe?
I really like that. I feel like that wraps in, our 3 perspectives quite nicely. I mean, without gratitude, what are you thankful for? I mean, everything, life, your job, your friends, your family. So I like it.
Tony, any thoughts on this challenge?
Oh man, I love that right there, because it's real simple, it's real fast, and it reminds you that every day you can find something to be grateful for.
And
all right,
beyond that,
gentlemen, we have our daily challenge then.
Yes.
Any last minute thoughts you guys would like to add?
Yeah, I'd say self-love comes easier when you make time for little joys in life. You know, love yourself by finding the little bits of the day that
Ooh, I
where
like
you
that.
can make it an excellent day. You know, it doesn't have to be a huge habit. It can be tiny little things to help you just better to make that day a happier day overall.
I like that.
One thing I would like to add too is it's a very common saying, but it's hard to love another if you don't love yourself. You have to start with your self-love. You have to start with your own being before you can start sharing with everyone else. You guys have any
100%.
thoughts on that?
That's a whole topic for sure. Holy man. Put on the rabbit hole on that one.
All right, well, we'll get back on the show, Joe. We're at the
Don't
point
be
where
on
I'm
the
going to
dating
conclude
scene
the
if you don't
show.
love yourself.
Oh, go ahead. Finish that, Joe.
Don't be on the dating scene if you don't love yourself.
No. No. If I could just piggyback off of that, you know, and what Clark said, something to tie into it. Your community is important. Surround yourself with people that speak life into you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a very good note to end on, I think. All right, guys. Thank you so much. We're going to conclude our show here. Thanks for being guests and thanks for watching. Hope everyone learned a little bit about self